1 o'clock it is, right here on the midday snaz, the 13th day of June. Would you believe it? 13 days already into the month. Oh my man, it is a flying. Right, on a center stage now, we're getting the main man of the moment, Justin Harrison. Is it right, Justin?
That's correct.
All right. This here rings a little bell to you, perhaps, before we kick off the show? Money too tight to mention. Justin, welcome down into Megazone Bollywood. Welcome into the midday snaz. Now, you're the man of the moment. Tell us what and who is Justin?
So, Justin is an ordinary guy who was running some pretty good businesses before COVID, and COVID hit. One of my businesses is a credit bureau. And we started to see during COVID the distress that people were under financially. And I sat down with my business partners. We had a very long discussion, and we said, there's things we know about money and finance that we've learned through our journey of 25 years of building businesses and understanding money that clearly the average person doesn't get. And so we fired up a YouTube channel, and we started having ordinary discussions with each other on YouTube the way we'd normally talk to each other. And the Espresso show in Cape Town picked up on it. They interviewed us, and ever since then it's been a whirlwind. And I think what has really put me front and center stage is that I talk a language that everybody can understand. I also have a very interesting past. I was homeless, come from nothing. I truly understand what it means not to have your money in your pocket, not to understand the financial system. I'm not a broker, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a man who's walked this path with empty pockets and arrived at a point of wealth. And talking has become my way of giving back. And I think that there's a deep system that needs to be changed. I think financial systems is something that most people don't understand. The education system doesn't prepare people for what to do with their money, how to manage their money. And this is a void that I'm trying to fill, and I'm deeply passionate about it. I spend pretty much most of my day teaching people about money on every single platform I can. And I always tell people, whilst I'm trying to fix their money problems, what I'm actually trying to do is fix their hearts. Because money is not just about money. Money is the result, but it's actually people's actions, their emotions, and the way they conduct themselves that has a huge impact on society at large. And I want better citizens for this country. I want better citizens for the world. And part of that starts by fixing people's money and fixing their emotions around money. Because if we do that, we'll have better people in the world.
So how is it, Justin, that when we talk about money, it's such an emotional thing? Like you said, it's linked to the heart, right? So you are fixing the heart. What is it about people that have, in your opinion, that has got the system wrong when it comes to handling their money?
So I think it's two things. I think first of all, number one, it's a lack of emotional control. And I don't think we taught how to control our emotions efficiently around money. But then it's a layer deeper. It's also about understanding the financial system. So we're not taught how to think about money as a resource and how to use money as a resource, because that's all it is. The money doesn't represent who you are. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you worse. Whether you're a multimillionaire or a beggar on the street, people are people. And the system doesn't teach us that money is nothing more than a resource. And so we've got people going out and buying fancy cars they can't afford. They're spending the most amount of money to impress the people they like least. And this is the situation we've got on our hands right now, purely because people haven't mastered the internal emotional control over money. And money's controlling them rather than the other way around.
So you say it's the emotional part of it. So how do we get around when it comes to handling? Because I would love a fancy car. I'd love a fancy t-shirt. I'd like my bank balance to not go below a certain level. Give us some of the ways that we can actually get there. For example, I just want to take this scenario. I'll take an example. I earn 2,000 Rand. My liabilities are more than my income. Which are some of the ways that I could live a normal standard life without drowning? Because that's the word. I'm drowning in my finances. How can I get it up?
Great question. And Robbie, the answer is one that people don't want to hear. It's a hard answer. It's something that people have to face up to. The bottom line is you can't live a life that you can't afford, no matter how much you desire it. We all desire the private plane and the Rolls Royce and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you only have so much money, that's what you have to live on. I always tell people, work with what you have, not with what you don't have. And this is why people take on debt, because they're trying to work on what they don't have yet. They try and borrow against their earnings for future earnings, and that makes the problem even worse. So here's the thing, you have to do a very hard look in the mirror. If you're only earning X amount per month, you have to do everything you can to spend less than that. And here's the secret to becoming wealthy. If you're spending earned income on the things that you use every single day, like the place you live in, the food you eat, you are going to really battle to become financially free. The objective is to use earned income to create wealth. And so what you want to do is spend as little as you can out of earned income and use the money that you save to invest into things that are ultimately going to replace your earned income. That's the key to becoming wealthy. And so when I see people out there, it doesn't matter how much you earn. I know people who earn 850 grand a month and that are financially in more trouble than people who earn 10,000 rand a month, because they're spending more than they earn, and that's the problem.
So the larger or the bigger or the huger the income is, the more increase the lifestyle we want to live.
It's actually what I call the lifestyle creep. Our lifestyle creeps the more we earn. And this is the enemy of wealth. The enemy of wealth is you earn well, so you spend well. Great money people understand that if you earn well, you invest well. You don't spend well.
Right, Justin, let's just take it up here a bit, right? How do I balance this equation? You say we've earning X amount,
Yep.
and I have responsibilities here now,
Yep.
right? I've got to pay the rent, I've got to buy the food, I've got to worry about the kids, I've got to worry about transport. In order for me to earn that cash, I've got to worry about my transport. Now, how is it that, and I'm earning this, the smallest amount, or the lowest amount, the minimum amount, how am I going to get to the level where I scuffle all of this into one bag and still manage to take out a little in order to invest into my future? How do I do that?
So again, this is a very important thing that people need to understand. There are only two ways to get more money.
Okay.
One is you have to spend less. That gives you more money at the end of the day. Or you have to earn more.
Right.
The problem is most people are trying to focus on earning more.
Yeah.
And the problem is the more they earn, the more they spend. So this cycle continues through generations, and it's a problem. So what I'm trying to tell people to do is, listen, focus on earning more money, but at the same time focus really hard on spending less money. And there's a great saying when we train for sport, when we in the boxing ring training, it says, pain is temporary, glory is forever.
Yep.
Right? So what I want people to understand is if you have to undergo a temporary period of pain to reset your finances, if you know that it's temporary, you're able to make those changes. So if that means that you're living in a 3-bedroom house right now that you can't afford and you have to cram your entire family into a 1-bedroom flat, if that's what you have to do for 2 to 3 years or 4 years to get yourself onto that financial level where you have money to invest, because remember, you have to earn the money before you can invest it.
Absolutely.
You have to save the money before you invest it. And the problem is people are not prepared to do the difficult work in order to become financially free. And so people are living to the maximum because they're saying, well, I need this house, I need this car, I need these things. The question is, do you need it or do you want it? Can you make a plan? Are there options that you can exercise outside of what you're doing? And people aren't prepared to go and be uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable for a long period of my life to get to where I am. In fact, the rule is I refuse to spend more than 50% of what I earn. That is my rule. And the higher that number is, if you can live on much less, the quicker you're going to become financially free. And you will always be a slave to having to exchange labor, time, and effort to earn money until you figure out how to make money work for you. And the only way money will work for you is if you save it and deploy it into investments.
What are some of the ways that we can save? Okay, we earning 100%,
Yep.
right? Let's try and take this into sectors now. 30% goes into the needs of the family.
Yep.
10%, and I think it's kind of a lie, I think 20% goes into feeding habits.
Yes.
All right.
Even way more than that.
25% goes into feeding habits. What percentage actually can we take back to say, now we need to get into an investment or an insurance or or some sort of bank saving?
At a bare minimum, you should be setting aside 20% of your income.
Okay.
At a bare minimum.
Right.
If you want to become financially free and wealthy, 50%.
For how long?
That depends on how much you earn. It depends on what lifestyle you want to lead. But the average person can become financially free within 8 years if they set aside 50% of their income.
Okay, now 49, we're getting into 50. I've got to wait till 58? Seriously?
And that's the thing. People don't want to undergo the temporary pain. Remember what I said.
Yes.
Pain is temporary, glory is forever. You can suffer for the rest of your life, or you can suffer for 8 short years. And believe me, 8 short years is like that. When you're focused on a goal, when you're driven, when you know what you're going for, when you're actively managing your money, when you're saving, when you're investing, when you're side hustling, on the weekends instead of sitting watching TV or Netflix, you're out there trying to earn extra income to add to the amount of money you're saving. Your life will change forever. Forever, and only in 8 years.
Only in 8 years. So I'm going to count it down as of this day. Hopefully in 8 years' time, I meet you guys and I say, thank you so much.
I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm coming to check on you.
All right. Insurances.
Yes.
Is it a good thing to add it into your kind of a budget, even though it's kind of difficult to survive now?
So I own insurance companies, and I'm probably going to give you the most controversial answer you've ever heard. It really depends on your life circumstances. So if you have children, if you have a bond over your house, if you've got vehicle finance and that sort of thing, and your whole life is very leveraged on debt, then you absolutely, and you've got dependents, you need some kind of insurance cover. Because the bottom line is, without insurance, if something goes wrong, you're in deep trouble. Let's say you pass away, what's going to happen to the family? So very important. But if you're a single person and you're young and you've just started working, please don't take a life insurance policy. There is no good reason for you to have life insurance as a young person who has no dependents, right? And equally so, don't take out insurance policies to cover things that have no real value. Right? So only cover the things that are most valuable to you. People overspend on insurance because financial advisors and brokers have made this a norm in society because they earn commissions on selling you the product. That's the bottom line.
So I'm at 25 now. I've just started off this great job. I want to secure a future, and I've been thrown into it to say, take an insurance, and I'm now getting a life insurance. So what happens?
Bad idea.
Bad
idea. Don't take life insurance. So if you were spending, let's take an arbitrary amount. If you take 1,000 Rand that you'd be paying a month to life insurance, just an example, even 500 bucks.
All right.
Take that same amount of money and compound it into an investment at 10% interest over the next 25 years of your life, and you'll be horrified what it's worth.
Wow.
Right? You'll be horrified. And here's the thing. You don't get benefit from a life insurance policy, only your family does. So why take life insurance when you don't yet have a family who's dependent on you?
Okay.
If you are young and you've just started working, you do not need life insurance. Don't listen to the brokers. Don't take the life insurance. You don't need it. The only time you may need it is if in your individual capacity you finance a home and the bank says you have to have life insurance to cover this. That I understand. Or if you have dependents. But if you're a single person starting out, there is no good reason for you to have life insurance.
I'm a 49-year-old single man. Now I want to get...
You don't need life insurance.
Okay, there you go. Answered.
You don't need life insurance.
Why?
Do you have any children?
2.
Okay, you need life insurance. Right?
So that's the difference.
It's that simple.
Okay.
It's that simple. Life insurance is for the benefit of those you leave behind.
Okay.
It has no benefit to you.
Got a message here from Adi. Who is this? Here we go. Alicia says, "Hi Justin. I just want to know, what is a good place to invest in?"
Such a great question. This is my favorite question of all, right? The biggest mistake, and it's the wrong question people ask. People ask me this every day. People walk up to me on the street, where should I invest my money? And I say, I don't know. And people look at me like I'm completely crazy. Here's the reason. You should never invest into something you don't personally understand. Do you know how many times I've had people come to me and say to me, I've invested money with a broker and they've got all these things on paper, but I don't know where my money is. And I say, what is your money invested in? They say, I have no idea. And I say, well, that's the first problem. Just because you use a broker doesn't mean you don't need to understand the investment. You need to understand the thing you're investing into first. Otherwise, you're going to get caught. So if you're going to go buy stocks on the stock market, make sure you know how to read a balance sheet, an income statement, a cash flow statement, and understand how business works before you buy a stock. If you don't understand business don't buy stocks on the stock market. If you don't understand the commodity cycle between gold, silver, platinum, and the way the world works, don't invest into gold, silver, and platinum, right?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, first, go to your area of competence. So if you're a doctor, as an example, and that is your area of expertise, or maybe you're a housewife and you shop a lot and you're always at the shops consuming products, pay attention to the things that you consume, the things that you interact with, the things that you know, feel, and touch, and look for those areas for investments. Never invest into something you don't understand. So I can stand up here and say to you, listen, the bond market is a great investment. But if you don't understand the bond market, if the cycle in the bond market turns and you don't understand the bond market, you're going to lose money.
Absolutely.
So it is important not to know where to invest and what to invest into, but to know what your area of competence is. And so it's important to read and gain knowledge before you invest any money.
Investing money we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And money matters
Yeah.
in every angle of our life. Is it a good thing to invest into your own business starting up?
So look, I think not everybody's cut out for business. I think we need to be very honest about that, because it's become very popular for people to say, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to go into business. But here's the thing, business is not for everybody. 1 in 10 people starting up will fail within the first couple of months, and 8 in 10 will fail within the first 3 years, right? And so business is exceptionally hard. I will tell you that the biggest investment I've ever made is in my businesses. 60% of all of my money that I make goes back into building my business and growing my business, because it gives me the highest return on investment. If you're big on business, go in and go in hard.
Your biggest investment would have been in all of your business, I would have thought, Andrea.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
All right, a couple of questions here, right? Before we wrap up the interview. I'm like, I can go on with this, right?
By all means.
Okay. Long-term or short-term insurances?
It depends on your life circumstances. So I think everybody pretty much needs short-term insurance, right? You need coverage over your home. You definitely need some insurance over the things that you have, like your car and that sort of stuff. So short-term insurance, definitely, I think pretty much everybody needs it if you own stuff. Long-term insurance, we're talking now specifically about life insurance and those sort of products. We're also talking, if you want to group into that, retirement planning. You have to have some kind of retirement planning. I think retirement planning is very important for everybody, but life insurance is not for everyone.
You're talking about retirement planning. I get a big sum of money,
Yep.
right? Now, I take my provident fund and stuff like that, and now I want to take it into an offshore account. Is it a good idea?
Well, first of all, you need to go back and understand that when you receive your lump sum from retirement, it is mandated by government that you can only take a certain portion. You can't take all of it, right? So this is a big problem with retirement funds, is that you're locked into the country, whether you like it or not. So to answer the second part of your question, yes, you need to diversify, because if 2/3 is stuck in this country, you should take 1/3 of that and figure out how to diversify outside of our borders. The question is, which economy? I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't believe in the West. I think the West has had a terrible negative impact on our social structures, on our financial structures, and I'm very keen on developing economies, especially developing economies that have strong commodities in their economy. So I would say, if you're looking to diversify outside of South Africa, look towards the less popular economies, because that's where the real opportunity is.
Should I go for a medical aid, or should I take the same money that I'm going to invest? And I'm not here to boom bang medical aids and stuff like that. Should I take the medical aid, or should I take that money and put it into a cash box?
So I think for most people in South Africa, medical aid is almost a non-negotiable if you can afford it. Going to a government hospital is like a life sentence. You literally go there to die. It's not a great place to be.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a non-negotiable. I think you have to take the best medical cover that you can afford. And long term, even if you don't utilize that, this year, next year, the year thereafter, it only takes going to hospital once. And racking up a couple of million on the hospital bill. And it happens all the time. Go and see what it costs to be in ICU today. You'll be horrified. Medical, for me, is a non-negotiable.
So, Justin is full on business, right? Married?
Yep.
Kids?
3 children.
All right. Let's talk about the personal life now.
Yep.
Let's get this other half of you on this side. All right?
The beautiful Andrea Harrison.
Yeah. Andrea. Yeah, you can put your thingy. There's it on the side there. How do you juggle lifestyle between business, talking, going out, and family life?
So in our home, and I think my beautiful wife will agree, there is no Monday or Sunday.
Okay.
The weekends are as great as the weeks for us, and the weeks are as great as the weekends. In fact, I look forward to a Monday because a Monday is the start of a new chapter. It's a great new way to get started. And our family lives on these principles. We live together, we work together, we play together. The children come to most of the public speaking events I do. They're in my meetings with me in business. My wife is always at my side. She's my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, and she's also entrepreneurial. She's got her own businesses, and we walk a very close parallel. And I think the thing that is very important in our lives is that we share an incredible similarity on our direction that we want to take, as well as our value system. And so you can overcome cultural differences, you can overcome religious differences if the core value systems are the same. And my wife is potentially the most incredible human I've
I
ever
think
met.
that's the success here. It's the compromise is non-negotiable, right? Hello, Andrea.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
How do you deal with this man?
With a lot of coffee.
Okay.
This guy, you gotta. I've learned with Justin, you either gotta team up, be a partnership, or you're gonna get left behind.
Is it?
And that I learned a very long time ago with him. You gotta be a go-getter. You gotta hold hands and go roll with those punches together, and team up on everything. We talk about everything.
We train together.
Train together. If he takes on a new project, I'm in there with him. We discuss the silliest little things.
Between the two of you, who's the more disciplined one?
Me.
And
I would have thought it would have been her.
it depends on the category you're talking about, but generally speaking, he's the more disciplined. When it comes to balance, I'm more
Definitely Andrea.
You guys have been together for how long now?
6 years? 7 years?
6 or 7 years or so. All right. And you guys have been into business for probably between the same period of time.
Pretty much. I mean, we've got a beautiful love story. We met in Johannesburg. She was a damsel in distress on the side of the road, and of course, you know, Indian guy sees another Indian lady on the side of the road. This is a personal joke because I'm from Durban, right? And I thought, you can't leave this beautiful Indian girl on the side of the road. So I changed her tire, and it's a love story that evolved over the next 6 months. We wrote to each other and got to know who
I've
we
got to
were.
get you guys onto the couple challenge, which happens in July, next July, 2023, which
Yeah.
is in a couple of days' time.
Okay.
In 2 weeks' time, we've got a couple challenge that's going on. So I'm definitely going to hook you guys into that, right?
We're in. We're in.
All right.
We're always game.
Okay. Rapid question here. Is he a curry guy or?
No, you asked me.
Please go straight to that question.
No, you asked me.
All right. Is he's the kind of a curry guy or kind of go for the gourmet stuff?
Okay, this dude is a curry guy half the time, and he's a braai guy half the time. But let me tell you the worst thing. He cooks better curry than me.
Okay.
He actually gave me the biggest curry tips. I had to say it because he was going to blurt it out.
Okay. Do you guys prefer quiet times or do you like to always be out there?
Busy.
Busy.
We
Got to
are
be
bodies.
busy. I mean, we do enjoy our downtime. I think when we go away on holiday, we go a lot over the border to Mozambique. We travel the world. We've been to 77 countries. We've
Wow.
traveled extensively. When we enjoy our downtime, we take it exclusively for us. But then we also want to be in service of the people around us. We've been very blessed in our lives, and we want to share that with people by giving people knowledge and inspiring people. And so we spend a lot of time on the go, busy. And I think this is part of the success in life as well. You've got to find a way to have purpose and to get up every morning with intent and have a reason to be alive. And, you know, this woman inspires me every single day.
So to Robbie, we actually, my kids are at home. We want to be so hands-on that we keep them at home. We
Homeschool.
teach them, homeschool them. We get involved in business. The kids have such a direct link to everything we do, and that adds to the busyness. But I always say you've got to make time for your family, especially if you're a mom.
Yep.
Dads, I understand, gotta go to work, but mommies, you can. I always say earn online, at home, be with your family, keep yourself busy.
What's the plans for Father's Day this Sunday?
It is a big surprise, but I can tell you it involves sun and lots of little treats and family time.
Hopefully some cigars.
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you going to spoil him with a brand new cab?
No,
Ooh, okay.
I can't do that.
A diamond
Because
ring,
our
a gold
financial-
ring.
So it's a great question, by the way. So we are probably the two least materialistic people that you'll ever meet. And people are often shocked by how normal a life we live, because the template for our life that works is to live way below your means, to stay with the normal people. The moment you put your head in the clouds, you lose touch with reality. And so I've had the great fortune of becoming financially free at the age of 31. I've able to acquire pretty much anything I want. And you realize after a certain point that material things are fleeting. Everything that is material returns back to the earth from which it came eventually. And so for us, it's about people, it's about relationships. If you ask me if I'd rather have a nice big car or I'd rather go on holiday with my family, I'll take the holiday with my family any day.
Justin, a quickie here for you. How can your money grow? Is it going to keep, if you keep it into the bank, does it earn good interest?
It's a terrible idea to keep your money in the bank. So
Under the mattress?
that's also not the best idea. So I'm going to try and break this down as quickly and as simply for everyone to understand. Money is nothing more than a medium of exchange. Money of and by itself has no value. It is purely a medium of exchange, and we determine that medium of exchange, and it changes from time to time. If you're storing your wealth in money in the bank, there's a couple of risks. First of all, your money depreciates. I like to refer to it as the Woolworths inflation. You know, you go to Woolworths a year from now, it's not the same inflation that government told you. It's probably like 10 or 12%, not the 5% they quote. So your money is actually decreasing in value. The second thing is, I worry deeply about the liquidity of the banks themselves. And so I don't trust the banks purely by having all my wealth in the bank. So what I say to people, you need some money in the bank, but what you really need to understand is that money is not wealth. What money is an exchange of value. And what you want to do is take that medium of exchange and put it into assets that have real value. And so your wealth should be held outside of the banking system, not inside the bank.
All right. All of that of the podcast is going to be on our social media platform at Megazone. Justin is going to make his appearance here via podcast, and I don't know, have you discussed this with Justin?
This is the first time hearing about it, but okay.
Husband and wife problem. Surprise! You're going to be on Megazone.
With pleasure.
So we're going to get Justin on a Monday on the drive time, on the joyride, and on a Friday, because out of the weekend into the weekend, and that's where all the money goes. So Justin is going to make it nice and easy for our Indians so that we could become wealthy people.
Well, this is my greatest desire, and I like to say that we are all one in this country. I think it is important that we understand we have to reach across and help our neighbors, whether we are rich, whether we are poor, whether we're middle class. And we truly can have an impact in this world if we just share what we know and help people get onto their own path. And that is my deepest desire. So it will be my pleasure.
Awesome stuff here. Justin, thank you so much for coming through. Before we just go, the $sign.
Great question. I love your questions, by the way. So a lot of people ask me, is this Bitcoin? And the reason why I have a $sign on my shirt, there's a deep affirmation behind it. As South Africans, we've got into a position now where we're fighting about rands. We're taking the same pie and we're cutting it up and finer until there's no pie left to share. And my dream, my aspiration for this country is that we start becoming a country that produces stuff and exports stuff and brings dollars in. Rather than us fighting each other about rands on this patch of land, let's figure out how to stand shoulder to shoulder. Let's build something of consequence. Let's sell it to the rest of the world and let's bring us some dollars.
Amen. Preach it, brother. Final words to our listeners.
You've got to spend less than you earn. This is the first thing. If you don't get control of your money will control you. And the way you use money is a direct reflection of the things that are important to you. Show me how you spend your time, show me how you spend your money, and I'll show you what's important to you. So go out there and do an audit.
Justin, give us some of your links that we can get a hold of you, some of your social media platforms, and where we could catch and get a hold of this magnificent, fantastic, incredible person, human being, that I think is kind of a gift to human.
Thank you very much, Robbie. I appreciate that. So, of course, across social media, it's Money Tribe 21, number 21, Money Tribe 21. You can also find my Hustle podcast at hustle21.co.za. I talk about building small businesses and getting your money right. And, of course, I am on TV quite a bit. I'm on radio around the different provinces. So watch out for me, look out for me, and please don't be shy. If you see me in the street, walk up to me, come and say hello. Come and give me a hug. Let me give you a hug. We're all just human beings.
Justin, you're going to get a lot of calls, and I don't know whether I'm going to do this now or whether I should be allowed to do it. You need to give us a contact number so that we can, because I can promise you, a lot of people will contact you here from Megazone.
So I'm going to give out an email address if that's okay, because I'm not always near my phone.
No, don't worry. They'll keep, Andrea, they won't. Yeah, give us an email address or for kind of a link that we can actually reach out to you.
So the easiest way to reach me personally is go onto my website, justinharrison.co.za, and there's a contact form there. Fill out your details, send me a message, and you'll be connected directly to me.
There we go, ladies and gents. All of the information into not your get rich kind of thing, but easy steps into getting into your future, into a place where you and I want to be. If we think we're going to invest just as a quick buck, then it's never ever going to be as easy. Anything easy accomplished, I think, is a failure.
Absolutely true. And this is something I preach deeply. Wealth is built over time and slow and steady. Don't invest in anything that promises a quick return, because there's quick losses and quick pain coming. Anything worth having is worth working for. My beautiful wife is a classic example. I had to work really hard to get her.
Have to work. We'll talk about this love story soon. Nevertheless, Justin, thank you so much for taking the time out and making your way here to Megazone Bollywood 104.8 FM. And I think a lot of us are blessed just and encouraged now. I'm one of them, 49, and encouraged. I'm going to get rich in 8 years if I listen. From the, and I also think that the schooling system fails us in many ways. But we will leave that for another day, at another time. You keep it locked and loaded here onto Megazone Bollywood. And Justin, thank you so much once again. Andrea, thank you so much for taking my call. And you've been such a sweetheart with regards to, can I get him here? Can I get this? Can I do this? And it's like boom, boom, boom. It was done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I think you have found, and God has blessed you with the right person. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. What's the rest of the day looking like for you guys?
More interviews. I've got to be in studio this afternoon filming some more content. And then, of course, I've got a board meeting and a trustees meeting way late until probably after 9 p.m. tonight. So that's an average day for Justin Harrison.
Thank you so much, Justin. We'll catch you on the flip side, guys.